Okay, it looks like everything's good, ready to go. Actually, hold on. Do a few things. Okay, I got this. And I'm gonna do a quick thing that says, "Hey, come here. I'm live." Cause that's something people do, right? All right. Did I? You know what? I think I know what it was. Huh? Okay, hold on. That was probably it. I missed. I was thinking of something else. Of course it. All right. Now I just gotta take this. Excuse me. Fuck. Okay. Yep. Okay. Alright, so I guess before I start, I just want to say that I finally watched season 4, or book 4 rather, and probably next to season 3, this is probably one of the best ones as a finale or a final season. But it's also probably the most basic, and I watched it like a few days ago. Again, it's probably my fault that I watched the whole seasons in like a sitting. But it does kind of seem like okay, we're gonna tie everything up, kind of end it, and it is basic because it goes back to kind of what the last Airbender did, which is evil army, gotta stop them. That's kind of it. And the villain was all right. I think in terms of villains of the over the series, it's been Zah. Uh, I almost said Zahir, but it's like he and Amon. That group and Amon are pretty high up there. But it's still good. A good way to kind of end this series, kind of like one door closes, another opens. I don't really know what. God, I don't even know what else I can say. It's just it's a good season. Probably not as good as season 3, but it is one of those. I don't even know. Fuck it. So the big thing with this one is that Korra does deal with PTSD with what happened last season, which is pretty cool if you ask me. And literally, like the whole first episode is kind of takes establishes 3 years later, and when that first episode ends, you just see her in like this Fight Club esque arena place. That's a really cool kind of like whoa, what's going on? Although the best moment of the season was when she is at the end of like I think episode 2 or something when she meets Toph and I was like we were friends in your previous life and I was like is she gonna say Twinkle Toes? And it just ends with nice to meet you Twinkle Toes, and that was like that that was one of the like oh that's so sweet and like yes I called it moments. But it was cool seeing Toph again. I guess Sokka's dead at this point. Which, to be fair, it's like he probably would be. I don't know. Fuck. Okay, I lost my train of thought for a moment. And honestly, I don't really know what much else to say. It's just, this season really is her completing her spiritual journey of becoming the Avatar. Like she's not. No, she's not as. I'm trying to think. She's not as hot-headed anymore. No, but She does like kind of think before leaping, as it were, which is. It was still it was kind of a problem. Season three didn't have that as much, but it's like this one is really just like, okay, we need to plan before we attack. And it was cool to see like the Air Nation kind of revamped. I will say though, the CG in the show, I think CG in any like 2D animated show like this can stick out, and it does, but it's blended so well that I don't care. But it is like sometimes those contrasting styles really do get in the way sometimes. And I just pulled up my copy of Ready Player One for no reason. But yeah, this is probably like I and it does kind of have the same climax as the last Airbender. What the fuck is an Airbender? Anyways, the climax does take a few episodes of kind of the last ditch effort of fighting a giant fucking robot. I'm just gonna let that sink in for everyone. Giant fucking robot. But it is like Avatar versus Evil Dictator, who in this one does kind of come to terms with what she's done, and is played by Zelda Williams. Those who don't know, she is the daughter of Robin Williams. May he rest in peace. Which is kind of cool. Fuck. What else? I don't really know what else to say. It's like I'm debating whether or not this is my favorite season, because it's like season three had. I'm thinking, okay, both had good pacing, but it's like season three had the build up kind of the build up, the conflict, and the resolution, as it were. Like that season had a 3 act structure in itself, which is kind of how these seasons seem to play out. This one kind of does too, if I'm thinking correctly. I'm trying to remember from like 4 days ago. I'm trying to think back to. Yeah, it's like 4 days ago or something. But it did end. Okay, you know what? Hold on. The big thing about this series I knew going in was that Asami and Korra were going to get together. And it really is kind of a leave it to the audience kind of thing. Like I knew the final shot with them entering the spirit portal was kind of like, okay, we're a couple now. But it wasn't really expanded upon, or not as many hints were dropped, which I would have liked. I'm sure it was a Nickelodeon thing. Was like I would have liked that more. I don't really know what else to say. But this is probably the most I've said about the series because this was a good one to kind of wrap things up. Um, I don't know. I probably have more to say, but I can't think of it. But I guess at this point I'll sum up the Legend of Korra series. I'm glad I picked it up along with Last Airbender when it came out on Blu-ray, and just so happened that Best Buy also had the complete series of Korra on Blu-ray as well. And as a follow-up to The Last Airbender, it's good. Not as good as Last Airbender, but it can stand on its own. And now I'm looking at the discs for reasons. But yeah, Korra can stand The Legend of Korra can't stand on its own, but I think Avatar is just that much better, in my opinion. So I do recommend it. It's a way more mature. It's a more mature series as well for Nickelodeon, which is like something I also thought about the Last Airbender. It's like that. It's really mature for what it is. But yeah, Korra. If you have not seen it, excuse me, watch The Last Airbender first, because that is, it's per- perfect. No, it's not perfect, but it's a true masterpiece. And Korra, while it's good, it, and doesn't live in, yeah, it doesn't live in the shadow of the Last Airbender, but when you kind of doing a follow up to it, mm, it's still good. But yeah, I'm glad I watched it. I do still prefer Last Airbender, but I will. I know I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch through Legend of Korra again sometime, and I can't wait to.